Awesome.
Welcome to yet another RNBE. This is the second
I like
half.
how you space it out like that, man.
Today, we are doing the second half of our worst retcons in Batman history.
Yeah.
This is a list created by Screen Rant that Rob and I found, and we thought it'd be funny to see if we really feel that these are bad. Oh, jeez.
I don't remember the first
wrong?
list.
Oh, don't you love it when you go Screen Rant?
I heard porn.
No. So I'm annoyed. Screen
Okay.
Rant's been doing this now. I don't know if they've got a shitty advertiser on there or whatever.
Okay.
If you leave their website up now, eventually it plays this. It's a BS ad that says that you've been infected by malware. Call this number. And I know you've seen this.
That might just be a virus in the
okay.
computer.
No, it's only Screen Rant because it happened on the other computer as well, but only
Really?
when I was on a Screen Rant page.
Wow.
It doesn't happen anywhere else. It was on the other computer, the exact same thing. I had to shut down Chrome to get rid of it.
Wow.
And now it's happening here, and I'm on Screen Rant again.
Jeez.
So two computers with the exact same thing. You know, like that's just
Right.
that's just
Right.
too convenient.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like a
Okay.
shitty advertiser.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's what it sounds. It sounds like they signed
Shame,
on some
shame.
advertiser.
Shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're watching, guys. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds to me like they've signed on some advertiser that they weren't sure what they were onboarding,
Yeah.
and when it cycles.
You guys should test that out. Like, go to Screen Rant and see if you run into that problem. And if you do, then you should just start tweeting Screen Rant.
And if you don't, then help me figure out what virus got on two computers.
Why is he getting these viruses, and what websites is he going to get them?
Oh, I can tell you that. But
Inappropriate websites.
no, what I'm saying is like if it, and I'm not denying it is something on my computer, but I would
Yeah.
find it to be very weird if I had it on two separate computers on a laptop that is only
same-
ever used here.
Right.
Like, I don't do anything on this laptop,
Right.
Yeah.
and only when I go to Screen Rant pages.
And it's the same ad that comes up.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You have malicious malware on your Windows, and it comes up with a little pop-up thing. So it makes it so you can't click away. It's like, call this number now, and you have to like use the prevent from making more pop-ups thing to stop it all from happening.
Have you ever called the number? I have.
You want to troll those numbers?
Yeah, I've called them and just given them a hard
Oh
time.
yeah, absolutely.
I've never
Yeah,
done
it's
that.
hilarious.
No.
Oh,
I
it's
mean, I
hilarious.
haven't, but it's a
Oh,
good,
you know
it's
what?
a good
Here's-
tactic. Yeah.
I can tell you exactly what happened to the computer. We'll get to the topic. Don't worry, guys. Eventually it will happen because I got to look it back up again. So I had ad blocker on the other computer.
Yeah.
And I turned off ad blocker because it was like Eurogamer or one of those websites. There's a good chunk of websites now that go, you're using ad blocker. Either you disable it or you can't view.
Oh, see, like on Mac, Safari has Reader. Which
So you can put it in reader mode?
Yeah, you put it
Right.
in reader mode and it bypasses all the ads. And all you
Nice.
get is the core content of
Nice.
the page. Yeah, so you can just block it through ad block.
But what I'm
still be
saying
able to
is
see it.
like, yeah. And so I was like, I find there was something I was doing that I legit needed to be on that website. Because normally when they say that, I'm like, haha, there's like a dozen of you.
Yeah.
One of you's going to work. But there was one of the ones that I needed to be on that actually I had to turn off
I've
the
had
ad
that
blocker.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the moment I turned it off and I went to a Screen Rant page, that came up.
Yeah.
And it's only on Screen Rant shit.
Yeah.
Like, I would think that I have a virus if, like, oh, I went to a wiki and I went to this and it keeps coming up only on Screen Rant. And I hate their goddamn freaking ads on all of these stupid websites because it's like, here's your article, here's the ads.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, go away.
Yeah. It's nuts.
All right, so anyway, last time we did the worst retcons, 7 of the worst retcons in Batman history. Today we're going to be continuing that list on the Screen Rant page. You know what? You can look it up. Just look up worst retcons in Batman history if you want to see it. I'm not going to support this because if they got shitty ads, I'm not putting a link to this list. The name of the list is the worst retcons in comic book history. And by the way, I realized I didn't introduce our guest. Hello, Gary.
Hello.
This is the guy who operates the cameras.
Yes. That's
So
me.
Natalie's not feeling well today to continue this
I'm real.
list.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what I was supposed to do before I went on this whole
Okay,
rant about
right.
ads.
Yes.
Yes.
Natalie's not feeling well
Okay.
today, so instead of canceling today's episode or changing the topic,
Yep.
we thought it'd be fun to bring in the camera guy.
Yeah.
You always wanted a Gary cam, so he's watching the cam right there.
It's true.
He's
Speaking
looking at
of-
the camera, looking
yeah.
at him.
So I have to step up for just a second and be a camera guy and make sure everything's still okay.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
It should still be okay, I would think.
Okay. We left off with. I think camera guy just hit the light.
Things not okay.
I think we left off with Jason Todd. And now his origin constantly got retconned. Reality punch because they memed that.
Oh yeah, he was brought back to life because
Okay.
of Superboy Prime.
Which brings us
That's
to
your favorite
8.
punch in history, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
the retcon punch. Bam! All the problems solved.
Dude, could you imagine that in your life? You're like, man, I'm so far in debt. My car
Yeah.
broke down. They're going to repo my house.
Reality
Millionaire.
punch.
Retcon punch. I'm a millionaire now.
That's like a State Farm commercial, just
Yeah.
not State Farm.
It is a State Farm commercial.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, retcon punch.
Are you currently in debt, or do you owe student loans? Are you unsatisfied in your relationship? Well, we can fix that with our patented retcon punch.
Only $89.99. Call now. Operators are waiting to stand by.
Yeah.
555.555.55555.
Operators are waiting to stand. Operators are waiting to wait. They're waiting to stand by.
Sorry, I don't do very many ads, Rob.
Oh man, operators are standing by.
Okay,
Yes.
so this will be fun because Gary doesn't know this. But
don't.
the Joker situation in the New 52. Worst retcons ever. And I agree with this because I like this.
I do not agree with it.
You-
I assume they're talking about like Scott Snyder's depiction of the Joker.
Right, they consider the worst retcon on this Screen Rant thing, shame on you, Screen Rant thing, is him getting the face back.
No, because it had to. I mean, so it had to give.
No, I like that though, because it makes Joker. So in the beginning of the New 52,
Right.
Joker tricked another villain, Doll Master, I believe, or Doll Maker,
Dollmaker.
to cut off his face.
Right.
And then he
I remember
used
talking about
belts
that.
to attach it to his head. And through comic book logic, it did not rot, and he did not get an infection.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't succumb to any of the illnesses that would come with like exposed flesh and
Yeah.
And never
disease
regrew
and-
any skin or anything. It was
Yeah.
always exposed.
yeah.
Okay?
Sounds scripted. Yeah.
Sounds like a comic book,
It's
right?
about as comic
Yeah.
booky as it gets.
Yeah. So a year later, after this had happened, and we were all left wondering what had happened to Joker's face, where did it go, what's happening with it, things like that. A bandaged Joker showed back up and continued the plot line in general with Death of the Family.
Yeah.
And what we eventually discovered is that the face, the retcon is what happened with the face and then him just getting it back. So the whole event happened. Joker showed up with the face. We had Duella Dent, Joker's daughter, with the face. And I believe there was somebody, and Deadshot is wearing it as well, in Harley Quinn and Deadshot and the Suicide Squad. So the retcon is that there's 3 of the Joker's face apparently going around. And they just said, we're never going to explain that. He got it back.
Well, because it was a really popular theme. I mean, the Joker having his face surgically removed and then like just kind of being held on by a belt. It was so cool. People were cosplaying as that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Really?
yeah. It
It's
was a
still one of the most
huge thing,
popular
yeah.
like
Okay.
visual images of the
Right.
Joker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really big when they came out, and so it made sense that they would circulate it around. The way they fixed it is they said that there's this substance called Dionysium, and basically it's just a metal that has healing properties. But the longer it's been around, the more impure it's become. You ever heard of a guy named Vandal Savage?
No.
Okay, he's a genuine immortal. Like he's literally
Okay.
indestructible,
Okay.
or at least he can't die from age.
Okay.
He's the first person to sample pure Dionysium. Years after that, somebody else did it. Years after that, the Joker did it. But by the time he got to it, it was impure, which means he had to go back time and time again in order to keep himself from, dying or whatever the case may be, recovering from
Right.
his injuries. But that was the in-comic explanation on how the Joker keeps coming back, and that was the in-comic explanation of how he got his face back. So,
Yeah, no, I know the
Yeah.
Dionysium brought it back,
Yeah.
but we still never answered the whole, we have 3 Joker faces.
Well, they belong to the 3 Jokers.
Oh, so also in continuity right now, it's been revealed when
Yeah.
Batman gained all the knowledge in the entire universe. One of the first questions he asked
Oh,
was,
so cool.
"What is the Joker's identity?" And the chair that he was on that gives him all the information, I forget how it said it, but it basically said, "There's no answer to that. There's 3."
Yeah.
That there's
It was
3.
a-
So I think it was like which one, and he's like, "What do you mean?" And it's like there's 3 Jokers.
Yeah, the chair
So
would.
he
the
still
chair would
didn't get his
ping.
answer.
No.
Well, no, but it showed him the identity of the 3 Jokers.
Oh, did it?
We just haven't learned the identity of the
Yeah.
3 Jokers yet.
Okay.
Yeah. But
So
well,
wait. So Bruce Wayne has it,
Yeah,
the
but
knowledge?
we don't.
But
yeah,
we
but
don't,
we
yeah.
don't.
But we
right.
don't.
And
Oh,
it's a
okay.
storyline that has now for a year and a half not been answered.
was-
Everyone wants to know about the 3 Jokers. And I've heard 1,001 rumors. One was that like Tom King was going to handle it after the War of Jokes and Riddles.
Yeah.
Then it was, well, no, that's a Jeff Johns thing. And then it was like, it's going to be handled in Doomsday. But no, that's not going to be handled in Doomsday.
actually, I think Doomsday Clock, the comedian, is one of the Jokers.
I mean, I could see that. But what I'm just saying is like we've heard so many where they're going to answer this question.
Yeah.
I finally stopped tweeting Tom King about it because I was tweeting him about it like a
Were
whole
you?
bunch.
Were you really?
I was.
What was the last thing he said? Stop tweeting me.
I can get writers and artists, and I mean nothing. Do nobody attack him or retweet him? Because
Yeah.
do you know everyone tweeted Rich Johnson over your thing
Over what?
when you were salty over the most powerful people in comics?
No, they didn't.
They did.
Why would you
And
guys do that?
And Rich had to respond to them all.
No way.
That's so. I'm saying, do not tweet Tom King on my behalf.
Well, then I need to tweet Rich Johnson an apology because I did not mean to send my fans after him.
I was getting tagged in them all. You weren't?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't paying attention because you were.
Really?
Yeah. But it was literally like people hitting him up and going, how could you add Comicstorian and not put Comics Explained?
I had a feeling.
And so many people did it, he had to start responding.
What did he say?
It just basically, it was a collective of people who came together. These are the names that came up the most, the 100 people.
That makes
stuff
sense.
Like that.
Yeah.
No, it was a legit
Positive,
reason.
positive, he knows who you are.
That is true.
There's something.
He knows who I am now. Rich Johnson, man.
Maybe not in a good way, but
I'm facing my Tom King story with do not tweet Tom King on my behalf.
Oh, well, they're going to now. You tell Twitter not to do something, man. They're going to do it.
Okay, so when I do the single tweet reviews, I like to tag the writer or the artist in it if I have room. I don't always because I can't always fit it, but if I do, I tag them in it. I did that with one of my Tom King ones. It was one of my most retweeted and responded to reviews.
What was it?
It was just like I just gave a positive opinion on the comic, but then everyone responding pinged him as well.
Yeah, that's what happens when they
Oh
reply.
yeah, like he has never answered me since then on anything.
Yeah, man, you blew up his Twitter.
It probably did.
He was living a quiet, peaceful life, and here comes Benny with the sirens and the car horns and the big city living, and then suddenly...
and I didn't realize it, but I thought about it afterwards. But it was the second time I had done that to him. Because I kept tweeting about the Three Jokers thing and jokingly was like, do we know when the next book for the Three Jokers is coming out? At Tom King. And every one of the fans wanted to answer it.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee you go to a con, you're like, hey, Tom King, like, I'm Benny from Comicstorian. And he's like, oh.
You're the guy that won't stop tweeting me.
Like, oh.
So nobody tweet Tom King on my behalf.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm not offended in any way, shape, or form. Don't do it. But keep tweeting Rich Johnson on behalf of Rob.
No, do not. Please do not do that.
Rob, like, weaponized his fans.
Yeah, dude, Rich Johnson, I will tweet you. I am sorry, man.
There were some of them that literally were like, here's the video with the timestamps for reference of Rob throwing salt at you.
Dude, it was a joke, man. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, your Rob Corps is like, they're like an army.
Yeah,
really, right?
I get
like, that,
but and I don't mind them being an army. It's just let's use them as an army against the people that need to be army against. Not Rich Johnson.
Yeah.
The guy made an opinion order. Like the guy wrote an opinion list on who's like it's an opinion. It's not a fact.
And I'm sure you're not the only person who wanted to be on that list either.
Yeah. No. If Rich Johnson
I'm sure he got
list,
a lot of flack from a lot of people.
Yeah, like if Rich Johnson had said like these are definitively the 100 most influential people and everybody else sucks, then I would be like, that's your problem, Rich Johnson, man. You know what you said.
I have ammo to make you salty again that I'll tell you off stream.
Really?
Yes, about that list.
What?
Do you want me to do it here?
Yeah, I won't get salty, I promise.
D&C's on it. Diversity in Comics.
Well, yeah, the guy stirred up such a stink.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, he's like 80-something on it.
No,
I only found that out because they kept tweeting that because you didn't pay attention to the tweets apparently.
No.
But they were tweeting Rich Johnson, how could you put Comicstorian and D&C and not Comics Explained? And that's how I learned that. I was like,
okay.
Oh.
I mean,
Just so because you don't know who that is.
I don't know.
He's an individual who has very strong opinions about the comic book landscape and the direction that Marvel is taking.
Okay.
And he does like to start Twitter wars about the situations.
Yeah.
Okay.
But good or bad for what he's done, it has brought a lot of light to a lot of situations. Good and bad. I mean, it's,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're all good. I'm not saying they're all bad. Some of them needed to be seen. Some of them not so much.
I mean, like anybody who makes a big enough stink, it's going to draw attention to it.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
Like even a troll can be right about some things.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No.
So,
I mean.
yeah.
So, but I just thought you'd be like,
no, that wouldn't make me so.
No, he's out of salt now. So.
Well, I mean, like yeah,
he ran out.
You used it all up in the Final Fantasy discussion.
I mean, I could like I could like stir up one hell of a stink. And,
Oh, yeah.
like, and just
sure.
set like Twitter ablaze, you know, with all this like
Right.
let's point out every fallacy and every flaw. But I'm not in the business of making enemies out of Marvel and DC. So that's not what I'm shooting to do. Like I may have to call on them for help one day.
That's good of you.
So
That's good.
yeah,
Stand down, my soldiers.
Yeah, I may be like, hey, like.
I was like, I mean, nothing. You know, Rich Johnson runs Bleeding Cool, which I believe right now is the #1 most viewed comic book news website.
Yeah.
And you just weaponize all your fans on him.
Yeah, I'm. Guys like, well, you know what? Like, we're gonna draw a line through that guy's name instead of under it. And Comics Explained's name is now.
We go to a convention and we're like, "Hi, Rich Johnson. I'm Comicstorian." You're like, "I'm Comics Explained." He's like, You.
Like, hey, man, like, you guys want to go to lunch? Yeah, sure. You can't go.
Dude, it's going to be
You
like
walk
an
around
injustice
constantly.
when they met with Ma and Pa Kent. The Batman's team, they met with Ma and Pa Kent. And Ma and Pa Kent are like, everyone come inside for tea. Not you, Harley.
Yeah.
You sit out here.
Dude, did you ever read the Injustice comics? No. So Superman goes out of control, and the president's response is to kidnap Superman's parents.
That's a great idea.
And Batman shows up, and he was like, "You idiot!" He's like, "They won't be looking for your body on Saturn." He was like, "Why would you do this? It's the worst possible thing you could have done." And it,
Sounds like an impulsive decision.
it was a very bad decision. They're like, "Well, we're the government," and he was like, "He doesn't give a shit." Like,
It's
what can you do?
Superman.
It's Superman. He'll destroy your armies and like wipe you out.
It was pretty good.
It
But,
was amazing.
But Harley Quinn and Joker started all of the Injustice events.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Harley Quinn has had a turn of opinion. She's now on Batman's team, but that doesn't matter to Ma and Pa Kent because she turned their son into a megalomaniacal villain.
Yeah.
Right.
Drove him insane.
So they're all at the Fortress of Solitude, and they're like, everyone come in, not you.
Yeah. You have to stay out here in the cool.
Yeah, it's basically
Okay.
All right, so let's move on with this list.
Let's move on with the list. Yeah.
If anybody watches this and is like, I legit want to know that topic, and only, you know what? That's where those complaints come in.
What?
Why can't you guys just talk about the topic? I feel like this was a 10-minute video.
Because
it probably was.
Yeah, we would be every podcast ever. But you never get ahead by doing the same thing everybody else did. Just saying.
It's deep.
It's deep.
It's deep.
How
anyway.
can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real?
This one I read and I didn't know.
You saw that Jaden Smith tweet, right?
No.
Oh, that was Jaden Smith.
I had
Will
no
Smith's
idea.
son?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
I don't look
up,
at Twitter at all.
No, dude.
So.
Just Google Jaden Smith tweets.
Oh, okay.
They are hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
It is-
Okay.
He's so deep.
It's so funny.
Okay.
Okay, so the next
All
one on the
right.
list, I did actually not realize this, but did you know Damian Wayne, at least in their book, and it kind of makes sense what they said, is technically a bad retcon. He has no origin as of the New 52.
Well, that was. That was where they fed it into the whole Batman. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't happen.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is, when DC did the New 52, they were like, it's a fresh starting point. All of our stories are going to end, and we're going to start brand new, so no old continuity sticks.
Yeah, we want you to treat comics like we've never published them before.
Right. So, except they didn't do that.
With Green Lantern and Batman.
Green Lantern and Batman were two of the most successful runs in comics at the time.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we're not going to reboot that.
Yeah.
Right.
But they didn't say what was in continuity. So as the New 52 has gone on, we have gotten a new origin for Nightwing. We got a new origin for Batman. We got they had a whole book where they retold the origins in a more updated fashion.
Okay.
But we never got a Damian Wayne one.
Yeah.
So if you go ahead and say the original storyline of Son of the Demon is not in continuity, then that means Batman just has a son.
Yeah.
And we don't know from where.
Dr. Manhattan put him there. Dr. Manhattan just invented him. He's like, magic. You got a son.
You have a child.
His words exactly.
His words.
Yes.
Magic. Yeah, no, it's weird. DC played this weird game where fans were like, so like, do stories like Nightfall, does that still count when like Bane broke Batman's back?
Right.
And DC's like, I mean, if you really like it, like how many of you guys like it? Like, do a lot of people like it?
It's like a
literally
voting
what they
situation, yeah.
And then
so.
like a huge swath of the Batman community were like, yeah, we love it. They're like, well, then this in continuity. Like, here's Batman Eternal, and it's like okay, and like Hush and all that kind of stuff, and it's.
Yeah.
I found that weird because I didn't even think about that, but I'm like, yeah, that's right.
That's exactly what they did.
Because they've never said if it is legit. We've always assumed.
Yeah, it wasn't until Batman Eternal came out that Hush was in continuity.
Yeah.
And it was like, damn.
But what I'm saying is, like, DC still has yet to state what officially is in that continuity.
Yeah. Right.
And since they haven't, we've always assumed Son of the Batman is Son of the Demon, which is the storyline in which Talia al Ghul rapes Batman and has his child.
She drugs him and then has sex with him.
She drugs him and has sex with him.
I would say that qualifies.
That qualifies.
I do too, but to make it more family friendly, they've slightly retconned it to Batman was aware of what's happening.
Yeah, and he just allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
Because he was using his detective skills to figure out what she was doing.
So anyway, but we've always assumed it's in continuity,
right?
But they've never definitively said that is in continuity and that is how it has happened.
Yeah.
At least as far as I know, and I read a lot of Batman.
Now, what they'll probably do in Rebirth is they'll probably do a 0 year. So DC launched a story called 0 Year, where they basically tried to fix issues left over from Crisis on Infinite Earths, their first reboot. At the end of that story, they provided a timeline. And they said, here's when when Bruce Wayne first became Batman, and here's when Superman first landed on Earth. And they would say, like, it's been 10 years since Superman landed on Earth. But it was the only time they ever gave a timeline of when things happened. Up until that point, it was just somewhere along the line, Bruce Wayne became Batman. And if a year is referenced, then it's like, this is the year it took place. Yeah. And so they'll probably do that with Rebirth.
It's almost like old episodic episodes of like Star Trek and the old TV shows that didn't really have a true continuity. It was just you can step in any time and enjoy whatever episode you're on.
It was just a series of events that took place, and each story was separate.
Gotcha.
That's really how it was. I mean, crossovers, things like that. But like that's what I imagine they'll do in Rebirth is kind of fix all that stuff once we get to the end.
Give it a real timeline.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, that's what we're hoping for. But okay, so the next one was the fact that apparently I didn't know this, but apparently during the Tim Burton movie, which they changed a lot of things about Batman back in the '89, one of the things they changed was that Joe Chill was not the killer of the Waynes. So apparently Batman found Joe Chill, confronted him, and he said he wasn't the guy. He was in bed that night. Yeah. Which led Batman on a journey to discover who the killer of Batman was.
I remember hearing that. Yeah.
And that was it. They just left it with an ambiguous, it's someone else, and they never got back to it.
I remember studying that when I was thinking about doing the history of Batman. No, fans hated that. Because Joe Chill was like the iconic killer of the Waynes.
Right.
Like that was.
They decided to change it. Apparently, I don't know how true this is because this is Screen Rant and they have buggy websites.
Camera time.
Yep. But they decided to change it because the character Jack Napier was created for Batman. For the record, those guys.
No. Jack Napier wasn't created for Batman. Jack Napier was created for Killing Joke.
No, the name Jack Napier is from the movie and only the movie. It's never been used in comics.
I thought it was
White Knight is the first time someone's used it in comics.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it was a big deal.
Well, then what name did they use in Killing Joke?
In Killing Joke, he doesn't have a name. He's just the Joker.
I thought they used his actual name.
No, that's why we've never known his name. He's just the comic.
I didn't know he had a name.
Yeah.
Huh.
So in 1989, he was named. He was named Jack Napier.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
He might have a name in that, but it's not Jack Napier. Jack Napier has only ever been in the Tim Burton universe. And that's actually one of those things that people who watch the movies then get confused. Like, I thought the Joker was this guy named Jack Napier. It's not. Burton created that, and that was one of the things that people hated about the original. The Batman fans hated about the original Batman movie.
Okay.
He was now named, and he was created as the Joker was no longer this mysterious guy. He was now this guy.
Well, plus it threw their favorite origin story out the window.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Killing Joke was 89. I think Killing Joke came out later, didn't it?
It came out in like 88, I thought.
Let me check that real fast.
It came out the year before. Because the story was based on the Killing Joke story. Because in the Killing Joke, like the whole battle led into Ace Chemicals where the Joker fell into the vat of chemicals. Like I'm pretty sure it was based on that origin. I thought it was. Unless Killing Joke came out in like 90 or something.
I want to say 90.
I know Killing Joke came out after the death of the
No,
family.
you're right. 1989.
Yeah,
that was the original release of it.
Yeah, I thought so. And I thought it came out before the movie.
I just thought it came out early 90s.
Well, when did the movie come out and when did the comic?
Is Batman 89 for a reason?
No, I'm saying like in the year, did Killing Joke come out before the movie?
Yeah, 88 and 89.
Oh, 88 and 89. Okay,
Yeah.
you said 89.
Yeah, I'm saying the Tim Burton movies dubbed Batman 89.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought you said Killing Joke came out in 89. I was like, no, I thought it came out.
Oh, no. Okay. I see the confusion now. I'm like, there's a reason why I keep referencing it as Batman 89.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it came out before, but...
Anyway, the retcon eventually got brought back in 2006. They just confirmed that Joe Chill was the man behind the Wayne's death.
Yeah.
Okay. And the name Jack Napier is finally being reused in White Knight. I'm going to verify that. I'm pretty sure because the only reason I know this is there was an interview with the guy writing it. And he explained that he asked DC if he could use Jack Napier, if he could make Jack Napier his Joker, because he's going to need a real name for him for the plot. So the White Knight is Joker finally takes a pill, which makes him sane.
Oh, dude,
right.
Okay,
I remember hearing.
And then what he does is he decides to turn the city of Gotham against Batman.
Yeah.
Because he starts to question, like, who is letting a guy in a bat suit beat people up?
Dude.
He's like, all I needed was a pill.
Dude,
it was
right.
It was
Right,
amazing.
okay.
It's actually a homage to the old. So there was a line.
It's still
of
going.
comics.
It's amazing right now.
Oh, I know it is. Yeah, there was a line of comics. It was Batman Black and White, or like the Dark Knight Black and White, or something like that.
Okay.
But it was a series of stories drawn by Alex Ross, I think. And they were just done in black and white. There was no color to them. But one of them detailed the Joker. And it didn't really feature the Joker himself so much as them looking at the case files of the Joker and drawing this conclusion that he was faking insanity.
Yeah.
So he would never be held accountable for his crimes. And I was like, dude, that's so genius.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a smart thing. But no, dude, like the White Knight, like if there's any Batman book I would suggest, it's the White Knight. And what they're actually doing now, what Rebirth is doing at the moment, is any story that could be a good Batman story that is not part of the in-continuity Batman line of comics is getting a miniseries.
Yeah, it's just his own little separate thing.
It's so good.
Jack Napier has been used as an alias in the comics as a tribute to the movie, but never officially dubbed his name until White Knight.
Okay.
White Knight is the first book to actually state that is his name, and it was his name before Joker, and that is his name post Joker.
Then I thought he was given a name. I know that in Killing Joke, he was like a former comedian who basically lost his gig and his wife was pregnant.
I don't think he was ever named though.
Maybe he wasn't. I don't know.
I think he was always just dubbed the Red Hood at that point, and then obviously that becomes the Red Hood superhero. One of my favorites, by the way. Anyway,
I've heard.
You've heard, have you?
I've heard, yeah.
The tattoo doesn't say it all?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay, we're going to go to number 5, so we're not spending 9 years on these last 8.
Okay.
The Barbara Gordon retcon for walking.
I do not like that. I agree with that
either.
retcon. Agree with it. Okay, so during the Killing Joke, one of the most important aspects of the story is the Joker breaks into the house in order to basically show that all it takes is one bad day to drive someone crazy. He targets Commissioner Gordon. Yeah. All right, so he shows up at the house of Commissioner Gordon, knocks on the door. Commissioner Gordon or Barbara Gordon answers it, and he shoots her, paralyzes her. All right. Now, from that point going forward, they basically turned into a character named Oracle, where she was operating behind the scenes. She was the intelligence arm, feeding information to people. But it was basically saying, like, handicapped people can be really productive and important, too.
Right.
That ran all the way up until they said, well, she got a surgical implant. They gave her the ability to walk. Done. And that was it.
The worst part about this, it was a New 52 retcon.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where we didn't know what was in continuity anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So she came back and she was walking, and then we discovered Killing Joke was in continuity, but she just recovered from her spinal injury.
No, yeah, I thought she got like she had surgery or something.
The initial, like, because I've read Batgirl all the way up through Burnside and everything. I'm not reading the current run, but like I read all the way through all that.
Yeah.
The original thing was she just recovered. That was all they said.
See, I thought it was like there was
that is what happened towards the end of the New 52. They explained that.
Okay.
Because what they did was they reinvented Oracle as a villain.
Yeah.
So what they did was she had this like a surgery thing that fixed her spine.
Right.
But it took all of the hatred of having been in a wheelchair and put it into this computer program, which then turned into the Oracle, which she then had to fight against.
Yeah. Okay. Because it was funny
was dumb.
because it was a throwaway line. Like it was literally her like it was like a Christmas issue or something like that. And she was like, "Man, I'm glad I had that surgery so I can walk now." And like that was it. It was done. And it was a speech bubble.
I would love to have you revise comic books with your dialogue and like just your words. Your wording is beautiful.
I did that with a series called The Rundown, which I might bring that back because that was really fun. Like, I loved doing that because there's this amazing scene where like Thor in the future has granddaughters. And like Galactus shows up to consume the Earth. And so like in the comics, he's like, all right, like you guys don't need to be here for this. Like you can't handle yours against Galactus. Like you guys go. And I'm like, so Thor, like old man Thor is like, all right, here, take my credit card, go shopping. And so they leave, and they're like, oh, hey, we're back from shopping. Oh my God, that's right, Galactus. And like, they have to start fighting. But no, I might bring that back because that was really
pretty good. I like that. Yeah.
The worst part about the whole Barbara Gordon thing is she had become the Oracle. She became like the big central hub for all of the Bat family.
Right.
And she had been training replacement Batgirls. Who now, as of the New 52, were just wiped from existence.
See, that sucks. Actually,
and they were fan favorites as well.
Yeah, I loved her training Batgirls.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool. And there were other cool things too. Like you had Birds of Prey, which was like an all-female superhero team, which was not bad. It was actually pretty cool. Like it was a pretty cool concept. They got rid of that because characters like Black Canary, who had a long-standing marriage with like Oliver Queen with Green Arrow. Like there was one point they got married. What was it? Connor Hawke died. They ended up getting divorced. Like his son died or something like that. But there was like all these trials and tribulations in their relationship, and fans of Green Arrow loved it. And then when New 52 kicked off, all that got wiped away. And like her and Oliver Queen had never met. And like they were never in love, they never had a kid, none of that stuff. They were just totally
Rebirth
isolated.
has brought them back together in a great way, though.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So moving on to the next one, we have Stephanie Brown not being dead.
I heard they sent pancakes to like DC or something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's true.
Long story short, the original plot was that Robin had moved on, so Batman brought in a new Robin, which was, as usual, a young kid. This doctor named Leslie Tompkins basically wanted to prove to Batman to stop taking children. Yeah. So she arranged to have Robin killed to prove to Batman, don't do this.
Leslie Tompkins was a doctor who would operate behind the scenes and like fix Batman and other superheroes. So she was like night nurse for Marvel Comics.
Okay.
For like Batman. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but it was applauded. Like, this was amazing that we killed another character. Leslie Tompkins, being one of the good people of Gotham, suddenly wanted to prove something to Batman, and it worked until they decided that it didn't happen because Leslie Tompkins says that she swapped the body out at the last second with an overdose victim, and Stephanie Brown lived.
Yep. Fans hated it.
Well, because Stephanie has
it was lazy.
as amazing as I would have loved to have kept Stephanie around,
yeah.
but the way they handled it was great.
Yeah.
You know, like it proved something, and you completely changed all of that.
Yeah, Batman can't be reckless.
Yeah.
With the people that he chooses.
So number 3.
Okay.
This one is that Dr. Hurt is Thomas Wayne, or is he?
Oh God.
This one I didn't know until I was reading
you talking about the return of Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Simon Hurt was like this super ambiguous guy, where it was like maybe he's like the devil, like he's just bad.
Yeah.
Like just bad and mean and evil. Well, then there was a story called Final Crisis where Batman gets hit with these super powerful beams thrown to the very beginning of time.
Right.
And basically there's all kinds of other crazy stuff that goes into it. But he's basically thrown forward through time. He doesn't control where he goes. He just ends up forward in time.
Right.
And so he ends up in like the 1930s Gotham City or something like that. And like, no, I'm sorry, it was during the Wild West, something along those lines. Anyway, Simon Hurt, who's been this longtime enemy, you know, is like Thomas Wayne.
No, he was invented in 2008 for that.
Oh, was he invented for that? Okay.
As it says, at least it says it right here.
So like Simon Hurt is Thomas Wayne. Yeah, that's right, because he became a big huge enemy against them in the aftermath to Batman, the Return of Bruce Wayne, which was
he originally came around in 1963. It was Grant Morrison that did all of this to him in 2008.
Yeah. Okay, but no, it was weird because basically they hinted at the idea that Simon Hurt is like an ancestor of Bruce Wayne.
Thomas Wayne Jr.
Okay.
That's what they
No, I thought they had him being alive.
Again, retconning a piece of Batman's history. Hurt was apparently Thomas Wayne Jr., Bruce's deranged half-brother who had been mentioned in pre-crisis events.
When did he...
The audience never really got to the bottom of who he was or what purpose he served, while Morrison used his usual flashback hallucination tactic to string out the mystery for far too long, giving the impression that even he didn't know who Hurt was supposed to be.
Yeah, but
Morrison told Wicked magazine, the minute I say who he is, it will stop people talking. There are clues, there are places, in fact, where they actually state who he's up against in the story, but people don't want to accept the supernatural explanation. But yes, the story of how Batman cheats the devil.
But see, that's weird because Thomas Wayne is the father of Alan Wayne. Simon Hurt plays Thomas Wayne, and then Alan Wayne comes later, and then you find out it's Simon Hurt.
Yeah, I don't.
It's Grant Morrison, man. Grant Morrison's storytelling is weird as shit. Like it's weird.
They brought back the Thomas Wayne Jr. idea for Batman Eternal, I believe. Or
no, that was
or Court of the Owls, or one of those.
That was Scott Snyder's initial.
Yeah, it was a part of his whole thing with the Court of the Owls. They brought back the character of the supposed deranged brother with proof that Bruce doesn't believe exists, but all the proof says that he is his brother. And
which it was a cool story. The problem is they didn't know what to do with him after he was there.
Yeah.
So they wrote him off as a town and eventually got rid of him.
He's been destroyed now.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 2 we got 2 left. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is what they say. This is another one that I didn't know about. Keep in mind, guys, like we like to consider ourselves experts, but not even experts know everything.
Unless you're Twitter.
They know everything. So anyway, what is the name of this one? Goodbye, Philip Wayne and Mrs. Chilton? Though everyone knows the unbreakable bond of Alfred and Batman, history originally had a young Master Bruce with very different guardians. One of the most tragic retcons to post-crisis era is the loss of Bruce's uncle, Philip Wayne, yet another tie to the Wayne lineage. Alfred wasn't actually introduced until Batman 16, and it was eventually revealed that Bruce had been under the care of Uncle Philip and a woman named Mrs. Chilton, the mother of Joe and Max Chill. The Guardian Housekeeper were heavily featured in 1980's history of Batman titled The Untold Legend of the Batman, but the collapse of the multiverse took both characters with it. A world without Alfred may be incomprehensible, but the loss of Chilton and Philip also took a whole host of possible stories away. Although Chilton knew that what Joe had done to the Wayne family, she never revealed the truth to Bruce and remained his carer until her retconning. Bruce being in the care of the mother of his parents' killers just screened for a gritty, modernized interpretation, but it looks like apart from alternate realities, both characters are relics of a bygone era, just like great uncle Silas Wayne.
No, I mean, Philip Wayne came back during 0 Year.
Yep. Well, that was the New 52 retcon.
Yeah, that was New 52.
But we got rid of the Mrs. Chilton thing. She's not around anymore. I didn't even know that thing existed. That would have been amazing to have.
That sounds like a Batman 0 Year thing.
Yeah, that would have been amazing to have that.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I mean, literally have him being raised secretly by the killer of his parents, not realizing it.
What do you think, Gary?
That'd be nuts.
Sounds like Gotham is a small town.
Yeah,
Everybody's connected in some weird way.
Everyone knows everybody else.
So welcome to a hard cut. If you can't tell, Rob's hat changed position. Mm-hmm. So, okay, worst retcons. Their number one opinion on this, and I don't know if I agree with this, because I like the idea, but Batman's kill rule.
Are we talking about original Batman versus him actually killing?
I think, so modern day Bruce Wayne has been defined by his no kill rule, but Batman wasn't always a pacifist like those. Yeah, so in 1939 he carried the gun. I kind of agree, and I'm a hardcore Batman fan. I literally have a Batman bicep tattoo and like 3 bat symbols down my arm. As much as I love Batman, I've never understood his kill rule.
Right. Well, because guns took his parents.
Right.
I get that, and I get
gun thing. I get.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
I get the I won't use a gun. That makes sense. Guns took my parents. I'll use other tools. But the no kill rule, because it's him crossing the line. The dude's job is to instill fear into criminals. If I was a criminal in Gotham and I saw Batman, he's not going to kill me. He's just going to beat me up. Yeah,
that's a good point.
But he's not going to kill me.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So how am I afraid of Batman?
I mean, that is true.
He won't kill the Joker. He brings the Joker to Arkham, and the Joker just killed 10,000 people.
Yeah.
So
is this rule well known, though? Does everybody know that is Batman's rule?
While, yes, I agree with that. Maybe they don't.
Yeah.
Think about this. All of the villains are in Arkham.
That's true.
I mean, like you'll have him fight off against an enemy, and they'll comment on it.
Yeah.
Like during the Steve Englehart run of Batman, there was a point where the Joker had a story where he wanted to copyright fish. And
you love bringing that story up.
It's crazy. But you had this character named Rupert Thorne, who was grabbed from the comics and rolled into Batman the Animated Series. Batman had confronted him at one point, and the Rupert Thorne said, "Well, you're not going to kill me. You never kill anyone."
Right.
So I mean, some people know. It's contextual based on the story.
I think it's one of those things where if you make the connection, you're like, he won't kill.
Yeah. Which, by the way, makes Gotham City, it makes Batman one of the worst superheroes of all time, because he's literally a dog chasing his tail. He's like, okay, so we have like all these really bad guys, and like we could kill them. So, like, they can't kill anybody else, but we're going to throw them in jail, cross our fingers, and hope they get rehabilitated. And it's like...
I mean, comic book logic is comic book logic.
Right.
We all know things don't make sense. No. Just like, Gotham is going to be destroyed by a nuclear bomb. Hey, Soups, you mind coming by for 2 seconds? Just 2. Hey, Barry Allen, you want to just come grab this and run it away? There's a number of reasons why comic books don't work in the end of the day. It's not real. But I've never understood the no-kill rule in the manner of, if Batman's purpose is to instill fear in a villain, I would be scared of a man who is going to kill me with no ramifications from the police.
Okay.
That's a good point.
If we're looking at it from a comic book standpoint, sure. But you also have to consider the logic that goes into Batman comics. Batman believes in justice.
Right.
The justice system.
Right.
Which means you don't kill everybody who commits a crime. Like, they have to
But
go
situations
into
like the
justice
Joker.
system. Okay, but if Gotham was based in Los Angeles, sure, 3 felonies and the Joker's in jail for life. But I mean, it's not. There's no 3 strikes rule in Gotham City. There should be. But there's not. And would Gotham City be safer if Batman did kill them all? Sure. But the argument that he makes time and time again is, well, it's a slippery slope. Like, that was the whole point of injustice.
I mean, and I know everyone's going to give me crap for this, but the Batman v Superman movie had Batman pretty much openly killing people.
Oh, he was shooting with guns.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, he didn't hide it.
I didn't see it.
It's not like he snuck a silence. No.
Did you say unfortunately?
Or fortunately.
I said, unfortunately, you did not see that movie.
I didn't see it, yeah.
Don't worry, you're not missing much.
Okay, that's what I hear everywhere.
Envision what you would consider a Batman versus Superman movie to be, and then it's not that. So that's
pretty much.
Yeah, that's
what I've heard. Yeah.
But the thing that blows our mind, everyone likes to go, Batman doesn't kill. Right. Arkham games are a great example of this. I'm playing those on our Twitch stream, twitch.tv/eligible monster, every Saturday, Sunday. Like that plug. But I've been playing those, and you just... Like, Batman breaks necks, throws people off of ledges, ties people up with the batarang, hanging them upside down. Then I cut them and they land on their heads. I mean, you run people over with the Batmobile. Batman v Superman, he opens fire on them with guns and crap like that. Yeah. You go to the Batman comics, and he does leave villains in situations where they should die, but Batman doesn't kill. It doesn't make sense. No. If I am a street-level superhero with a utility belt, with gadgets, and I have all of these martial arts fighting styles, I get it. I don't want to use guns because of my parents. I should be murdering most of the people who are at least repeat offenders.
Yeah, I mean, the greatest detective and fighter in the world, Batman, even if he wanted to kill him and he didn't want to get caught, Batman knows how to kill people without getting caught.
Yes!
I have a hard time believing the greatest detective in the world and the greatest martial artist in the world doesn't know how to not leave behind fingerprints. So, I mean, there's got to be a way. But, no, I mean, I think it fits in line nicely with the whole thing. Batman doesn't kill because he believes in justice. And, sure, the Joker's incorrigible, but, the justice system has to run its course. works. And it also allows the stories to be told. I mean, what good would a Batman comic be if like Joker, Two-Face, Penguin, Riddler, if they were all dead?
Right. Yeah.
So I mean that's what
a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
That's what I think the core of the no-kill rule is.
Oh yeah.
Because otherwise, Batman would have no villains anymore.
Yeah, it prolongs the longevity of the stories.
Yeah. That's why I like Thomas Wayne Batman more than Batman. Like if I have to put them side by side, Thomas Wayne Batman. Okay, so in another timeline,
Batman.
Bruce died. Thomas Wayne, his father, becomes Batman.
His mom becomes the Joker.
And his mom becomes the Joker. And Thomas Wayne does not give a two. It opens up with him interrogating somebody, and they don't give the answer he wants. So he drops him off the like a 10-story building.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, he looks so awesome too. He's got like red eyes and like a red Batman insignia, and his Batcave is crap. It's
There's nothing in it.
Yeah, it's got like a desk and a chair and like maybe like a laptop. And it's got like a picture of Bruce.
Thomas
and Martha
Wayne is basically If you took all the money away from not the money, but you took all the intelligence away from Batman.
Yeah,
like the super intelligence.
His father's stupid.
and his father's a doctor, but took all the detective work away. Is what I should say.
Right.
So to get answers, he just beats the crap out of people until they die or give them an answer.
Yeah, he beats them to death. But dude, he is so brutal.
His mom becomes the Joker.
Oh,
she steps in that direction.
Yeah.
Why?
Dude, it was one of the coolest twists because it's so nuts. Like Joe Chill shoots like what is it? He shoots Bruce Wayne and then panics and runs, I think.
Yeah.
And then like where his father is like cradling, his son, like Martha just starts to just like slowly start losing it. And then eventually it starts picking up with these flashbacks.
Okay, so they basically revised the story from the moment where his parents were supposed to die.
Yes.
Oh,
and Joe Chill killed him instead.
And so the death of Bruce Wayne caused his mom to snap. And so where like Thomas tries to hold it together and he tries to keep her sane. Like she starts doing things like giving herself like a Glasgow smile and stuff like that. Yeah. And just starts losing her mind and then eventually just snaps.
Okay.
And just becomes the Joker. And it was one of the coolest twists to a Batman story.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, it blew my mind. I was like, what? Okay. Yeah, it was amazing.
So how do you feel about these retcons? Do you think they're good? Do you think they're bad?
I honestly don't know enough to determine that.
Well, do you like the kill rule?
I think if I were in his position, I'd probably hold it the same rule. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Rob, you like the kill rule?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense within the confines of like logically being able to tell stories. Yeah. It does not make sense within the confines.
I would not send the criminals to Arkham, though. They seem to have a tendency to get out.
Yeah, they seem to.
I'd probably send them somewhere else.
Prison systems in the world.
Yes.
Let's send them to one of those.
Yeah. I'd probably ask like Superman. I'd call up Superman and say, hey, I've got a criminal. Can you come pick him up? Like, I'll be there.
Can we
in like
stage
5
it
minutes.
so that he's doing the crime in Metropolis and goes to that prison? Because you guys don't lose people.
It's true.
Just put him on a space station orbiting Earth. You can't send him to Belle Reeve because that's where everybody gets turned into Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he is also like a billionaire. So I think he could probably build his own.
I was going to go back through these, but I think Screen Rant's going into that direction now because now it's barely moving now. Like it was moving fine, but now all the ads are stacking up and it's barely scrolling. Bye-bye Screen Rant.
They got ads under the ads.
Yeah.
It's just bogging down and getting ready to crash your browser.
Exactly.
I've had that happen. You just start running into JavaScript errors and shit.
You're like, God damn it.
No.
So, the Dr. Hurt one, I didn't even know about. So
yeah, I thought I knew about it, but apparently I don't. So
I mean, maybe they're wrong. I mean, we're using this from them, and I don't know it, and Rob thinks he did, so maybe he's right.
No, I don't know.
I mean, Rob's the expert, not Screen Rant.
Marvel Comics, yes. DC, I'm kind of getting there. A little bit, day by day.
What did you think about Damian Wayne? Batman having a son that now has no origin.
I think it's unfortunate because, from my perspective, kind of an outsider's perspective, Damian Wayne was kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah. Batman has a son.
Right, exactly. And he's no slouch either, from my understanding.
No.
And so, I think it,
okay.
Well, it's still unfortunate that you would just be like, oh yeah, that didn't happen.
But Damian's still around. We just don't know where he came from.
Oh, that's okay. I get it.
Yeah, we just don't know where his origin came from.
Yeah.
But no, Damian's important
just make
because
it simple. Why does it always have to be so complicated? Why can't you just have a son?
Just do like a flashback thing.
Yeah, just a quick flashback. Yeah. That's my son.
He had a wonderful evening one night with
Talia.
With Talia.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
They had wine and they had nice conversation and good dinner.
And
9
you
months
need to
later,
be the narrator too.
Like the narrator?
Yes.
Okay. Well, anyway, guys, that concludes this episode of the RNBE. We got to get rolling because we got food sitting upstairs.
Yeah, we got Chick-fil-A.
Everyone's getting, you guys know we love Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A. Sponsor, not sponsor. Please sponsor us.
And I've got like a 2 o'clock meeting.
Yeah, that's right. You do?
Yep.
Anything good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Very good stuff.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Give us some ideas for topics down below, and don't forget, you can always find us right here at Comicstorian. If you want to find out more from Rob and find his expertise, go check out Comics Explained. And if you want to find more from Gary, doesn't have a Twitter, doesn't have anything.
It's true.
Come right back here next week, and we'll talk to him.
I only exist here.
You exist here and on Eligible Monster, our gaming channel, as the off-screen guy.
Yeah, Gary's actually a robot. When we end the show, we power him down and we stuff him in the closet.
Yeah, it's scary.
You don't like the dark?
I don't like the dark. Anyway.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on Comicstorian. Crack-a-cacoom!